Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you know you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
What's up? It's your girl Drama Queen coming to you with another reaction video for season 7 of 60 Days In. Now, this particular reaction is going to be about episode 9, titled Inmate or Civilian, and episode 9 aired on A&E on Thursday, October the 13th. So let's go ahead and dive in. On this first reaction, I'm going to talk about Carlos. There will be 3 reaction videos for this particular episode, but this very first one is going to be dedicated to Carlos and some of the things that were happening in the pod where Carlos was located. So let's go ahead and dive into that pod. It's so funny how they always start off the episode with something either traumatic, crazy, stressful, funny, whatever. I don't know what this fool was talking about when the episode aired with the guy that was talking to Thumper, and he's talking about jacking off on top of his bed, and I'm looking and just totally grossed out. Like, my face is like all scrunched up, like, ew. I don't even want to imagine after the nasty mess that we dealt with last week with masturbation. I guess they thought that it would be a great idea to start this episode with masturbation, but hey, moving right along. Thumper. Why do you still think it's okay to lay your ass on people's bed? Now, I ain't seen you taking a shower the whole time your ass done been in there, but you always want to put your nasty ass on people's beds. You want the smoke. You want the smoke. Like, they've already told you this. It's disrespectful. This is not something that it takes a brain surgeon. It doesn't even take a high school graduate to figure out why it's disrespectful and nasty to sit on someone's bed. And if you didn't know, you've already been warned. So stop it. So I think the guy's name is Steve, is going off on Thumper. And he's just sitting there looking stupid and laughing. You know, it bothers me. So then here comes Mr. Carlos. Carlos asks him, do I need to put my shoes on? Do I need to put my shoes on? Bully me. Now, I do understand hating to see the underdogs constantly being picked on. But I guess I'm torn, because when I was a participant on season 6, even though the jail gave me my mission, I had my own personal mission. I think anybody that volunteers to be a participant on 60 Days In is going to go in and have their own personal mission. And I believe that part of Carlos's mission is he is a protector, and that is what he does. That's what he's familiar with when he was in before. That's what he did. He comes from the gang mentality, so that's what they do, and I get it. But you also have to realize you are on an international television show and people are already leery about some of the inmates in there. So there, like I said in another video, there's a fine line between doing too much and not doing enough. And I also realized that editing, there could be many days where nothing happened, where there's no confrontation, there's nothing with Thumper and Carlos, where Carlos is not exerting his pod boss quote unquote behavior. I understand that. I know that is not going to make the television because it's not interesting. So I have to take that into consideration as well while I'm watching the show. So one of the things that Carlos said, and I was just like, wow, he's like, one more write up from me and you're out the door. You can pack it up or you can catch a fade with me. Now, I understand more about jail politics after being a participant on season 6 of 60 Days In, but there's still a lot of things that I don't know, I don't understand, and I probably will never know. And some stuff I don't care to know. But for me, as a grown ass woman sitting in jail and somebody's talking to me, and Carlos is talking to Thumper, and Thumper, yes sir, he looked like a scared little boy. If you are a scared little boy truly and you don't want to catch a fade with Carlos, because although I don't agree with everything that Carlos does and the way that he does it, he has already communicated with you the expectations. You've already said he's running the pod. Why do you continue to do stupid shit? You've been in and out of jail. You know the jail politics because you done told this grown-ass man, as a grown-ass man, yes, sir. So you know jail politics. Stop doing stupid shit. Thumper irritates my soul. He irritates my soul. But when he said, yes, sir, I was just shook like, you not as strong as you think you are. You just told another grown man, yes, sir. I was over it. So at this point, Carlos has about one more week left to complete his mission. I got a little nervous because, I've given Carlos hell on past episodes as I've given anybody that I feel did something stupid, said something stupid or inappropriate. We're family, but at the end of the day, you have to hold family accountable. And so, Pillow, I called him Pillow. Carlos, when Pill called, I was trying to say Pill called. When Pill call came, Carlos was a little bit too hype. Made me a little nervous. I'm like, what's about to happen? He started touching the pills and asking, the other inmates what each of the pills, what they do. And I'm like, oh, God. But, no, I'm going to get in the ass first, and then I'll play devil's advocate. He then starts asking inmates about trading commissary for pills. He asked Moose, and he knew Moose was not probably going to do it at the time, but Carlos is very street smart. I give that to him. Carlos is very street smart because he fed Moose and was like, I'm just going to set it up because I'll need him later. And that's exactly what happened. He is able to predict what is going to happen with these people because he's been there, done that. So I got nervous because he just got in trouble for this with the chief and the sheriff. He was told not to compromise the program. He was told why it could compromise the program and not to do it. And I got a little I got a little upset, but I had mixed emotions. So why I got upset is because Carlos said basically, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And unfortunately, that is the mindset of an inmate and not a civilian. And a lot of the people that are in jail and stay in and out of jail, they don't think about the long-term consequences. They think about the right now. I want to do this right now. I don't care who told me not to. I don't care what the repercussions are. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And it is what it is. Hopefully I don't have to deal with consequences. But if I do, I'll deal with them when they come, if they come. Definitely was thinking like an inmate. This is what causes the recidivism rate to be so high. One of the reasons. You cannot do what you want to do. There is no place in this world that you can do exactly what you want to do. As a business owner, I can't do exactly what I want to do because guess what? I have customers. I have clients that depend on me. If I do what I want to do, I lose customers, I lose credibility, I lose trust. When I get outside and I drive my car, I can't do what I want to do because there are rules, there are laws in place to keep people safe. There are a lot of times I want to do what I want to do. But I know as a civilian that there are consequences to that. Does that mean that I always follow it? Hell no, I'm human. Just as Carlos is human. I just felt like you presented the sheriff with a problem. You felt like, Carlos, that he did nothing to fix it. So you're going to test the waters again. I thought we was going to be safe because when Moose was caught with the pills, and I thought he really took it this time. So I was like, okay, they're on to it. Like I said on another reaction video, they used to put the pills, and they would still, find ways to, inmates would still find ways to sell the pills because especially when you don't have anything else to do but just think about creative ways to get away with stuff, it happens. But they would put it in the water to try to dissolve it and reduce that. When Moose gave Carlos the food or the pills and Carlos said, what do I owe you? Nothing, man, you already fed me. I'm like, it almost makes me feel like Carlos is manipulative. But I get it. As an inmate, to survive for years, you do have to be somewhat manipulative. You do. For me, that's not my end game. That's not my personality. That's not my that's not me. I try to utilize other ways to get through. So Carlos basically said, I'm doing things like an inmate and not a civilian. Then Carlos shares the pills with Darius. And we'll talk about Darius in another video, but I wanted to touch on this since it is applicable to this particular situation. I was nervous. I was like, oh God, no, don't tell me we're going to have two that takes pills. But I'm glad that Carlos, when he gave him the pills, that Darius was smart enough to not bring any attention, but act like he took the pills, but give them to production. Now, I do wonder if this is something that Carlos knew prior to Thursday. That if he knew that Darius did that, I wonder. Carlos has pills coming to him, and he talks to Darius before he gives it to him. Talks to him about thinking about taking one. Tuesdays and Fridays, he gets 2 pills from Moose. Now, I get it. It is so loud in the jail. One of the things that I didn't prepare that being on 60 Days In would prepare me for, a couple things, is A, the pandemic, and two, just my lifestyle now, where I don't get 8 hours of sleep. I barely get 5 or 6 hours of just straight sleep. I sleep in increments. And I did that in jail. When it was quiet, I slept. When it was loud, I couldn't sleep. Did I consider taking drugs while I was locked up? When I say drugs, the prescription drugs that were being sold for commissary. A very quick second, not long. And the reason being for me is because I have pre-existing health conditions. So there's no way in hell I am going to be taking somebody's pills where I can't read the back of the bottle and see the complications, what ingredients are in there, what the side effects are. And I don't have Google. I can't Google what this drug really does. Yeah, the inmate can tell me, but me having, pre-existing health conditions, there was no way in hell I was taking a drug that I was not familiar with. So I cannot sit up here and judge Carlos, because sleep deprivation, noise, hunger, all of that stuff puts you in a whole nother mind frame, another personality, another person. And if you ain't been there before, and if you ain't been there before for the whole world to see, you really can't say a whole lot to me. I, Shanese, can judge Carlos. Why? Because I was there. Been there, done that. When I do these reaction videos, I look at it from multiple aspects. I look at it from an inmate aspect. I look at it from an audience aspect, but I also have to look at it from a participant, standpoint as well. And I gotta be honest with myself. Sleep was something that I lacked. Did I do illegal drugs? No. Did I take prescription drugs? No, because I was scared and I had health issues. Did I smoke a chamomile tea bag or two? I did. I could not drink the tea because the water smelled like sewer. They were out of bottled water. The false fake sugar that they had in there was horrible. So I never drank my tea. But everybody kept asking me about smoking tea bags. I did smoke tea bags with my roommate because I knew that chamomile tea makes me relax. And so although I did not take any drugs, I understand where his mind was. When I smoked the chamomile tea bag with my two roommates, I did get relaxation and I got rest. So I can't sit up here and act like I don't understand and know where Carlos's head was. My issue with Carlos is that he was told don't compromise the program. If this was the first time that he just got the drugs and he was taking it and he was, trading it, then hey. So I got to look at it from multiple standpoints. It's not that I'm being wishy-washy. From a participant standpoint, I get it. But as an audience and a participant standpoint, I get where people would be frustrated. Like, dude, you were compromising the whole program. But lack of sleep, lack of comfort, for me, lack of food, being sick because I'm not getting the food and nutrients that I normally get, it's going to make you go crazy. The sounds in the jail, the sounds alone can drive a sane person insane. Now, here's what I will say about Carlos. Win, lose, or draw, no matter how you feel about Carlos, when Carlos packed it up, everyone started cheering and clapping. Now, what you didn't see for season 6 of 60 Days In is when my name was called to leave, I had the same response. People were clapping and happy and, hugging me. And it was a very emotional moment because it got so emotional. And I was talking to people that, try to hug people and encourage them. The guard was like, Simmons, if you don't come on, you're going to stay in here. You can keep talking to him. And I'm like, oh, okay, y'all deuces, I'm out. Love y'all. Bye. It makes you feel like he did do something right. He has some love in there, no matter how you feel about him. The crazy thing is when you do leave, even though you're so blessed and happy and you have an array of emotions, you still think about the people in the pod. I thought about my roommate. I knew how many days that she had before she was supposed to leave. I thought about the one young woman that I donated a lot of my items to that you guys didn't see, that I donated my whites to, my soap dish, my toiletries, my toothbrush holder, a lot of my food items. I thought about her because she just turned 21 and her grandmother just had experienced a stroke the night before. I thought about Brandy, who was the young lady that I had mentored and I gave chocolate when she was going through withdrawals, and I didn't want my 2-for-1 back because I just wanted her to get off drugs, and she just came back in there when I left. I thought about the young lady that the other inmates had brought to me that was allergic to latex and onions, and she had hives all over her body right before I left, and I told her to talk to the camera crew and let them know what was going on. I thought about all of those situations. I thought about those ladies. I thought about Nina being pregnant. I thought about Jessica being pregnant. I thought about each and every one of those ladies. I cried when I was out. It was so emotional. It's something about seeing the trees and the grass that does something to you. I remember walking across because they did not show my exit because it wouldn't go along with the way that they wanted me to be perceived during the season. When I walked across those train tracks, the feeling. When the episode ended with Carlos, Sheriff said he felt like he lost his way, and he pulled him a few days early to help him save himself. And I have to say I agree, because Darius was like, when asked how was Carlos's disposition and demeanor, Darius said it was different. He just looked dazed. That's why you kind of see on the thumbnail, the picture is just, he looked out of it. You don't know. You truly don't know the side effects. I am not one that, I know people take prescription drugs and abuse prescription drugs. I don't understand that because I have health issues, and it's not something that I'm willing to risk. And it scared me to see Carlos not his normal self. It scared me to see that people had to wake Carlos up to eat and to do things. He just did not look like himself. But what I will not do on this video is bash him too much. He was selfish. Definitely. But when you are in that situation and you lack the comforts of your everyday life, and you lack sleep, you do not know what you will do and what you are capable of until you're in that situation. This is coming from someone who has made a lot of conversations about I would have did this, should have, could I would never, ever in several situations. But the two that I'll say are Family Feud and 60 Days In. But Family Feud, until you're on the stage, feeling the heat of the lights, hearing the audience cheering you on, hearing that clock, seeing Steve Harvey, seeing the other family across from you throwing the X, you don't know if you would, they ask you your name, you might start, my name is Nikki. Until you are in a jail, being recorded for the whole world to see. Sleep deprived, hunger deprived. Some people, were missing their family, missing the birth of a child. Others had just, had other trauma that was happening that they had no control over, losing a family member, potentially thinking that you've lost a family member. And then you have to add on to the fact that, unlike my season, this season has prior inmates that have an opportunity to tap whenever. And they don't want to do that because they want to go along and finish their mission. Although I feel like Carlos was selfish by blatantly doing what he wanted to do, I get it. I get it because I've been there. And if my situation was different, I probably would have done something different. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell. And you tune in for the next couple reaction videos for this episode. Drama Queen is out.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.